It had already rained a lot the day before the storm came through. It rained all day while I was at work Friday. Driving home, the roads were already starting to be closed. And this wasn't even related to the hurricane. This was just a front that come through the day before. That morning I got up and left for work like I normally do. And uh, the first road I went to was closed for water. And so I turned around and went back the back way, and there was a tree down. So I went ahead and said a prayer, and I told the Lord, I said, if I'm not meant to go to work, you'll block the last path with a tree, and I'll go back home. So I went the other way around, and sure enough, as soon as I made the next turn, there was a tree in the way, and I knew right then that's what I was going to do. So I turned around and I went back home, sat down on the couch. Layla got out of the bed. She was scared because of how much noise there was from the wind and the rain. And I told her to go ahead and get in the bed with mom. And I laid back down on the couch, figured I'd go back to sleep. Power had already gone out at that point. I had laid there for probably 10 or 15 minutes before I heard this voice in my head just tell me, hey, you need to get up. You need to be ready. So I got up, put my clothes back on, got off the couch, and just started kind of walking around. All I heard was screaming from the bedroom. Just Lauren yelling, come get my baby, come get my baby. I threw the phone down on the ground, run back to the bedroom, and just tried to open it, and the door wouldn't open. It wouldn't open more than a crack, and I just started slamming all my body weight over and over and over into that door. I finally got enough of it opened, and she was able to hand me Layla through the door. She wasn't making any sound, but she wasn't hurt. She was just scared. And then, of course, I got Lauren out.
So I typically wear AirPods when I sleep, and I listen to rain. So on the morning of the storm, I had my AirPods and listening to rain. I guess it was just before 7 a.m. I woke up and Layla had gotten in the bed with me. The rain and the wind and the thunder just scaring her. Um, I remember hearing Kinley in the living room talking to someone on the phone, and I decided to just stay in bed for a while longer, so I got my right back on. I dozed off, and the next thing I know is, I guess the only way I can describe it is a big bang, thunder. I could feel it, um, and I could feel everything fall on top of us, the, the ceiling. And I remember taking a deep breath in and just breathing in all that insulation. And Layla wasn't making any noise. So I started screaming, my baby. And I could hear Kinley trying to get in the door, but he was having trouble. And Layla was really heavy from all the stuff that had fallen on us. I got her up and I was pushing her towards the door, and it was so hard. There was stuff everywhere. You could hardly walk. Um, Kinley kicked the door in and got Layla. Then I got out, and it was just a really scary time. It was a really scary moment of chaos and just, um, it was just really scary. I remember all of us going to the living room and just, the rain coming through the ceiling and not knowing what was gonna happen next and just dropping to our knees in prayer.
That's the boat shed. Water coming in underneath it. Doesn't matter. Just the idea. There's the water out in the front yard drive. There's a drainage ditch right there where there was a sinkhole, or there is a sinkhole, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a cleared out valley by the time this is over. There used to be a big tree right in that open spot, right next to that other tree. Looks like that other tree helped slow it down when it come down through the ceiling. Like it's all the way across the roof over there. You can't really see it. The neighbors had a tree come down over there. Looks like it took out the edge of their roof structure. Yeah. Just we're surrounded by water. I just gotta hope that it stays around us and doesn't push through us. Alrighty, well, we're set up in the kitchen with no power. We are heating up water for drinks. We've got some food from the freezer that we decided to thaw out because, you know, that's all we got. A couple cast irons. And we're going to throw them on a grill and have a dinner.
And we're set up here in the kitchen.
And that's gonna be how we cook tonight, and then we're gonna move what little bit of stuff we have here out of the way and set up camp here. Go to sleep.
Show them my fort.
I should.
This is her fort.
It's a new house.
She just bonked her head on her fort.
Not the first time I've done that.
Alrighty. Well, she's cooking. Honestly, it don't look half bad. Got the Tacoma running and my dock light for my kayak rigging up for a light in the kitchen. Oh, what a mess it is. So what is it, day 2 now? This morning's day 2 with...
Day 2.
And so we took the coffee maker and boiled some water and made the coffee, and now we got it on the warming plate, which is a little cast iron. So if y'all don't have any cast irons, you're missing out on being able to do stuff.
And Layla's out
We
here.
got the screened-in porch. Layla, say hello.
Hi.
We're just hanging out. But we're running out of stuff, so we're gonna do what we can tonight, and then I guess we're gonna be on the move tomorrow. Well, it's taken all week, but we've got everything out of the main room. Most of the insulation junk, so hopefully work can get going as soon as possible. So, ceiling just kept falling. I hope no more comes down. That insulation is so hard to get up, and it stinks, especially when it's wet. It just absolutely reeks. And we went ahead and cleaned out the bedrooms too, because that smell was just getting in all the fabrics, mattresses, everything. It just stunk so bad. So we just cleaned up all the bedrooms.
Hello?
Except this one. Hi.
Hi, I was looking for you.
Yeah, well, I was just recording the
The
update.
damage. I'm gonna use that. Then we can go.
We're at the end of week 2. This is a place that work put us up in. It's a cool little spot down in Tryon. No cell phone service, has been no Wi-Fi because, once again, you know, just everything's tore up around here. So we're kind of cut off once we come down, but it's better than sleeping on the floor and in a hotel because it's quieter. We had actual beds and stuff. A pretty nice spot. We are packing our things up. Moving on to the next spot. So that's all it's been. It's go one place, pack up, move to another, pack up, move to another, which is really getting old. But we're going to be checking in today to our third or fourth different location since this has all happened. And we'll stay there for a month. Insurance has us set up for a month. So it'll be nice to be able to stay for 30 days without having to just pack up and move 4 days or 3 days later. So stay tuned. So this is the place insurance has us set up in. We've been here for a couple days, or a week I guess now. I figured it's time I showed it all. They allow dogs, so we got our dogs here, but the cat's still with my sister. It's a nice little spot. It's too expensive though, I'm sure. I don't know the actual cost, but given our covered amount for, they call it like, I don't know, out of house expenses. I don't know, it's like $44,000 they'll cover. I don't know that it'd be enough in a place like this to stay until the house is fixed. So I'm still waiting on their call back with estimates, try to figure out how long it's going to be before we get some kind of idea for how long it's going to be. Well, the abatement team has finished taking the ceiling out for the asbestos. I don't fully believe it had asbestos, but they said it did, so it had to be done. So they come and took the ceiling out all the way, got all the insulation out. So demo has started beyond the ceiling. They've got the carpet out, walls. They completely tore this bathroom out, like shower and all. Like, I'm surprised they took the shower out. I imagine it doesn't look like it's still wet in here from any. They didn't put any drying machines in here, so they just got all the water damage stuff out. So I assume at this point we just need to get more eyes on it and get quotes for the repair of the inside, and then they can start reconstruction. The holdup is the financial institution. They're ridiculously slow with processing anything, and they won't release the funds yet. So it's kind of annoying. Alrighty. It is March the 15th, I think. 16th, actually. It's March the 16th. We are a couple weeks away from being 6 months out of the house since Hurricane Helene. And the only work that's been done in here is myself, my dad, Lucas, and Lauren. We've done some cleanup. The mitigation crew, they left a mess. Like, they didn't take all the nails out. They just tore drywall out. They ruined most of the electrical boxes that were probably okay. But with that being said, tomorrow I should be meeting with the rough plumbing and rough electrical inspector, which I took those jobs on myself, seeing as it just nothing was happening. And in doing that, it allowed me to be able to get some things done. I ripped up the rest of the floor in the kitchen because we're going to go ahead and extend the new flooring out to there. I ripped out the linoleum in the bathroom, got rid of the 70s green, went with some fancy white tile, metal tub, metal walk-in shower. Had to redo all the plumbing. Had to winterize the house, and the low points like the toilet valves there, and actually the shower valve, the old shower valve, plumbing busted. And luckily, saw that. In order to demo out and do the plumbing here, I actually had to rip out the other shower, which is why we got a new one. And in doing that, found the busted line there. So it really kind of worked out in our favor. Yes, this was expensive, but not as expensive as getting everything finished and turning the water back on and finding out there was a massive split. If everything goes well with the inspector tomorrow for rough plumbing and rough electrical, the guy should be able to start throwing insulation in. Here we are. It is May the 10th, 2025. Roughly 8 months since Hurricane Helene came through western North Carolina.
Hi guys.
Um, man, I don't even know where to start. It's been a long road.
How long? September.
It's almost 8 months.
Almost 8 months.
Yeah. So we obviously I'll take you all through the house here in a second, but we'll talk about why. Well, one, we haven't made any videos, so I'm sure if any of y'all are kind of wondering about that, you know, this is why we've not been in the house. We've been displaced from our home for basically the whole time. We're in our sixth or seventh. You want to go? What was it? We stayed.
Okay, so we did your sisters, and then we did the hotel in Spartanburg, and then Tryon, and then Crab Creek, and then the house we're in now, and then the Mill House Lodge, and then back to the house we're in now.
So that was 7 moves.
And then we're gonna move again in 12 days.
12 days. So the 22nd we got to move out.
Yeah.
And go to another place. So that would be an 8th move. And then that one's probably not going to be long enough either. So we're probably going to move at night time before we get back in the house. We've moved our stuff around. We're living out of totes, you know, back and forth. So it's been rough. And it's just, insurance was good. Like a lot of people had trouble with insurance. We didn't. Our issue has been with the bank. I guess we got the roof done pretty quick in November. So it wasn't too bad. And then from there, we were waiting on something. I can't remember what we were waiting on. I think we were waiting on the second inspection from insurance. And literally the day they were going to cut a check for the next part of it, I got a letter in the mail saying that they had sold our mortgage. So when I called the mortgage company, they told me not to have the check made in their name because they basically don't care. Once it's sold, it's no longer their liability. And so it took a month and 2 weeks, I think, before I finally got the information over to the new mortgage company. And then whenever they finally got all the information, which did not get transferred automatically like it was said, they released a check for $5,000 and told me if I wanted more money, I would have to get an inspection done. And I told them there's not been any work done. And anyway, finally, after fighting with them for about, 3 weeks after that, so now you're at a little over 2 months, they finally released some money, and we got to the contractor. We put $5,000 out of pocket to get materials and stuff started, and started as a loose term, because kind of to help things go along, I took on the plumbing and electrical, and through some inspections, had an issue with, they called out the framing work. And it just, by the time the engineering and drawings and just everything took off, it's now May. But as of Friday, the inspections for everything passed, rough inspections for insulation, framing, and all that. And so we've got, I'm gonna turn the camera around. We've got drywall in here, and they're gonna start working on Monday.
Yeah, it looks a lot different than the last time I was in here. None of this was up. None of the insulation was up, so you could see through all of this.
Yeah, so the last time she was here, you could see from one end of the house to the other, and it's kind of been like that. So she hasn't really come over much, but we can show you guys what we got. So insulation's up, baffles are in. It's gonna be dark in here. I had to take the electricity off of the drywaller, so This is the tub and shower that we installed in here. Had to demo this one to install the other one, and luckily we did. The plumbing was busted, so PEX piping. I've never done plumbing like that before, so it's all been a learning experience. But it saved a lot of time and money, and it's going to allow us to upgrade flooring. We took the opportunity to insulate between the walls, between the bedrooms and the bathrooms, to help it be a little quieter when you're sleeping. Boo. So, this was wanted to get a good update on why we haven't done any videos, why we haven't been fishing. Careful, babe. This is it. This is why we haven't made any videos. I've gone out once, and I'll put that video up after this, but realistically, we're 2 months out from moving back in, and even then, it's not like we're going to be ready to rock and roll. We got to move all the furniture, we got to reinstall all the appliances, stuff like that. So
There's a lot to do. A lot to do.
but Hurricane Helene come through September 27th of 2024, and it put us out. So, but we're still blessed, and we still have we grew closer to ourselves and to God in this experience. It kind of forced our hand on cleaning up, remodeling the house, but it
But it
tried
brought us
us.
closer together.
Yeah, it tested our patience. It tested, a lot. You sit there and you go through the trouble. Where do you go whenever everything in your house is ripped off and turned upside down? And you got to turn to the Lord. You got to turn to each other, because that's all you have. So, we'll get back to fishing videos as soon as we get the opportunity. But as of right now, this is why we haven't been around. This is why we haven't posted any videos. But
We're rebuilding our lives,
yeah, so
our home.
it's been rough, but we're working through it a day at a time. We'll see y'all next time.